The A7 really is the hottest topic in the world of photography right now. No, Locke, put it away. Not the A7 chip. It's this, the Sony A7, the A7R.
Sony, as much as I bashed them, they have come up with amazing products over the years. The Walkman, Betamax, Minidisc, PlayStation, 3D World. Some products have faded away and some have left a lasting impression on the minds of consumers. But what about this? The Sony A7 and A7R, mirrorless camera with a full-frame sensor inside.
The great thing with this product is that Sony is showing that they dare to do something completely different, something that won't shit on the doorstep of their own products like DSLRs. I guess Sony dare to do that because their DSLRs are already a little bit shit, so when you put shit on shit, it's still shit, isn't it?
Cue angry response from Sony fanboys.
Regardless, this is an amazing camera simply because it fulfills most of our dreams. It's full frame and it's mirrorless. I don't include Leica in that because it's not a real mirrorless camera. It's not. But perhaps there is a real benefit here. I mean, this is the cheapest full-frame option available for your Leica lenses. If you can afford Leica lenses but can't afford the Leica body, this is really quite affordable. I like his bike. I think he stole a lot for kids. But this certainly has far more megapixels than any Leica has. It's like the sensors from the D600 and D800. Although Nikon would have you believe that it's their own developed sensors. So, yeah, Nikon, whatever.
But you know, assuming this is pretty much the same sensor seen in the Nikons, you've got the imaging power of the D600 and D800E in a body not much bigger than the battery charger for the D600 and D800E.
Well, this uses the E-mount, which is the same as the one used in the NEX, but this is full frame. This is an FE lens, which means full E. It's a full E.
It's interesting that it shares the same mount as the APS-C sensor NEX cameras. You can use the NEX lenses on this, but it might look crop.
The Sony A7R. I like it now. She prefers my shoes. Smells good. So cats usually like to rub off their scent on things that they want to own. Doesn't really want to own a A7R, unfortunately.
This is the A7R, the more expensive of the twins, but they share a lot of things other than just the looks.
In terms of body design, they're pretty much the same. Well, they are the same shell, albeit this one is slightly different. The front bits are slightly different in terms of the material used, but that doesn't really matter. Well, they're both weather-sealed bodies.
Let's do the waterproof test.
Interestingly, all the announced FE lenses so far are weather-sealed.
You can see just how good the weather sealing is just by looking at it. Oh, let's take a snappy snap, then bam, it still works.
They both have dedicated SD card slots. Oh, same button layout, and on the top you've got the dual dials and an exposure comp dial also. They both have 3-inch tilty flippy screens which don't actually tilt. Well, it doesn't really flip actually, it just tilts. Yeah, it's good, but it's not touch screen. Look, you can poke it, you can touch it, but it's not a touch screen, which is sometimes confusing because sometimes it comes up with a little button on the screen which makes it look like it's a call to action. Just like press the button. I can't press it. I start to press this. But it's very pretty, the screen. That is pretty, isn't it? Oh, it's so true and black-like. Tell you what else is pretty. This electronic viewfinder. It's brilliant. I mean, I always say that optical viewfinders are the best, and they still are. But I mean, when it comes to this, it's almost close to encouraging me to just make the switch from optical viewfinders to electronic viewfinders. And there's another thing they both have in terms of design. It's got Wi-Fi and coffee.
You won't be able to discriminate on the cameras for having less features in terms of the body design. They have pretty much the same core features, but you can get busy with the jizzy over the fact that the A7R has insane amounts of those ickle megapixels. Images do look great, colours are rich, details superb. The kit lens and the lack of AA filter seem to give some stellar sharpness. This 28-70mm f3.5 to 5.6 OSS kit lens gives some decent enough performance too. Quick, decently sharp at the wide ends. The tele end wide open isn't too hot, but otherwise generally alright.
The images are undoubtedly sharp even when I'm shooting on JPEGs, but the thing is there are some detriments to the A7R. It's not the perfect top end of the A7 because some of it seems worse than the A7. I mean, for a start, it doesn't have electronic first curtain shutter, which isn't a big thing, but it does mean you've got that old NEX clunky sound to the shutter, lethargic and bloody noisy. You know, you might as well just go around shooting on the street saying, I'm a photographer, I'm a photographer. And also the flash sync is slow on this, 160th of a second compared to 250th of a second. Annoying, isn't it?
But going back to the thing about focus, it seems like the A7 has an advantage over the A7R here, but does it really make a difference?
One of the things that the A7R loses out on is phase detection autofocus. This just has what they call it fast intelligent contrast detect, whatever that means. But the only way to find out if this is a bad thing is to compare this to the A7. And we've got somebody to test it with us. He's called Yohei. You know, contrast detect isn't always a problem. Sometimes it's quick. Personally, I don't see what the problem is. It does the job pretty good. Oh, sweet as a nut. Sweet as a nut. Brilliant. Now let's try out the A7.
The cheaper A7 promises to have an advantage here, with a hybrid 117-point phase and 25-point contrast detection AF. Add to this, a faster burst rate for the A7.
Oh, sweet. This feels quicker, and the shutter sound sounds nicer because this has an electronic first curtain shutter thingamajig. So it doesn't have to clack twice, it only clacks once.
But there's a catch. The A7R's 4 FPS burst and A7's 5 FPS burst only comes in speed priority mode. Speed priority continuous is one of those things that Sony isn't quick to explain about, and people have differing opinions about how it actually works, whether it's about the AF being locked from the first shot, if it's using a fixed aperture exposure. Well, I can tell you now, it doesn't do any more focusing after the first shot. Focus and exposure is locked. If you want continuous autofocus, then the burst rate you actually get is 1.5 FPS for the A7R and 2.5 FPS for the A7. These cameras are not meant for sports photographers, evidently, but still the A7 does focus better, faster and more accurate than the A7R. I found that the A7R had a tendency to focus on the background sometimes. It must hate background bokeh, because it just doesn't want to focus on obvious subjects in the front.
This is the standard 28-70 kit lens which comes with the camera. You can't buy it separately. And it actually feels alright. Plasticky, but solid enough. But the great thing about the NEX and the A7 is that you can add adapters to it. So you can use your really expensive vintage lenses.
Now the A7 and A7R, I get why you'd want to put Leica lenses on, or any other legacy lenses. With a full frame sensor, it's starting to make sense.
Alright, I lied. We didn't go for vintage lens, we went for a really expensive other lens. Let's put the peaking level on higher. Oh.
Both the A7 and A7R produce some screen-lickingly nice result with the Noctilux, but one has got to love the extra sharpness you get from the A7R. But there is one way the A7 does benefit. When I say benefit, I mean less bad. Some ultra-wide Leica M-mount lenses trouble even digital Leicas, something like the Voigtlander 15mm. Geeky bit, because of the design where the rear nodal point sits so close to the sensor, you end up getting crazy coloured corners. The thing is, it's more prominent on the A7R. You'll still get the funny corners with the A7. The best fix? Corner fix software, or converting the files to black and white. It's worth it though. Some of these ultra-wide M-mounts are stunners, and you get incredible performance from the super affordable Voigtlanders, which is just as well because there isn't much choice for FE optics right now.
So, well, as you can see, Locke has just put his 5D Mark III to his side, and he's filming with the A7R to test the video quality. He's just using the kit zoom. It's quite well featured for video shooters. Open the flap here and you've got microphone and headphone jack. Just like the Walkman days, isn't it? Green for headphones, red for microphone, just so you don't get confused. Luckily the kit lens is OSS, which is another way of saying image stabilization. Anyway, it's image stabilization, it's stabilization, damn it. And then one of the big features is that you've got 1080, 60p. Unfortunately the video is AVC HD. A little bit annoying, giving you a 24 megabits per second file, which is not that brilliant to be honest. And you've got the audio level adjustments, and you can customize the buttons, well, C3, to change the audio levels. Oh, I want to adjust the audio level. Oh no, oh no, what am I filming? Oh, it's probably something over there, but let me adjust this quickly. I'm done. It's like the Pantheon in Rome. Pantheon? Oh yeah, I don't know why I'm pointing it down like that. Oh, we've got screens like that. Well, the question is, does the lack of AA filter really matter? Well, let's compare by taking a really boring picture of a folding door gate thing.
The A7R, whether it's the lack of AA filter or the more megapixels, it's just oh so much finer than the A7 images. So much so it hurts like sitting on a cactus bare-bottomed. Noise performance is a tad better with the A7. The difference only becomes apparent between ISO 6400 and 12800 when the darker tones on the A7R's shot start to look a bit pooey, and A7's looks alright still.
For the price of this camera, surprisingly you don't get a dedicated charger for your battery. You have to charge the battery, sorry I'm still chewing, while the battery is in the camera. So you've got a cable like this and a plug. That could be a good thing because in theory you can use a pleasuring device from YouTube. Voila. Oh god, look. Hey? Works.
The Sony A7 and A7R, they're not surprisingly wild new inventions. It's not like mini-disc. Someone would have put full-frame sensor in a mirrorless camera eventually, but I do feel that this product has a hook. It does make me feel like Sony has created a product of desire. Whereas the NEX was just another option to think about when buying mirrorless, the full-frame A7 and R have carved out their own segment of the market. It's their blue ocean strategy, and it's worked. They might not be best for sports photographers, but they are severely impressive cameras all around. The A7 is tempting for its focusing abilities. The R is pure image quality. There's not much I would change. Well, maybe one thing.
So the Sony A7 and A7R are pretty close to bloody excellent. But there's just one problem, and it's something which applies to most mirrorless camera manufacturers. What they do with their entry-level cameras is that they make it available in all different colours like black, silver, white, pink, blue, a luminous yellow, all these funky colours, because they think the kind of people who like funky colours or pink-loving girls and boys would like entry-level cameras only. But with this, just available in black, we think that's shit. So we're going to change things today by making this the world's first camera for one for all. So we can just hold hands and peace, harmony, making love together. So let's start with our makeover. And I think this is it. This is the final product. Inspired by taxi drivers' seats. Ooh, it feels good in the hand. You can see the buttons here. Oh, look at that. Oh, I want to know where exposure comp dial is. Oh, I can feel it straight away. Shutter button, same. They feel kind of the same, but no, this has got a little crystal there as well. You can find your way to all the buttons and dials because all the panels are centered. But one thing we need to do now to make sense of it all is to put a lens on it. See, look, this is improved grip. I've put some jewels here to separate all the menu items here. And if you don't like your functions on the side quarantined off, tell you what, you can have this. It's the Gemalicious rule of thirds system for perfect composition. And we're just in talks with Bono from U2 to get this under his product Red Label to be auctioned off side by side with Johnny Ives and Mark Newson's Leica M. This is also one of a kind. So save the world, people. Auction for this.